New year, new bike. Yep, it's another Hayabusa. Well, for this year, we've decided we've been looking out for little video snippets to put at the end of each of our videos for you. In bike parlance, they're called brown trouser moments, and I find these quite inspiring, and they certainly make you go, "Whew, thank goodness that was a close call." So have a look at those, this one at the end of this video. Let me know what you think. Is it for real? Hello, Sharon Spratt here with you from Fast Track People, and you're watching this month's Pit Stop Tune-Up. I had a rather sobering conversation the other day with a client I was coaching. He confessed he didn't really think he was management material, and when I explored it further, it turns out he'd been in a management role with a previous company, but given no training, little support or direction, and he consequently struggled mightily until finally he quit in frustration, feeling like he'd failed. And now here he was being asked to take on a management role again, and reluctant to do so because of the conclusion he'd reached from his first experience. Now, this is like putting a beginner bike rider on a 1300cc sports bike and saying, "Righto, off you go," and assuming they'll be okay. There's a reason why we have power restrictions for bikes for a new rider of 250cc. When I first started riding motorbikes in New Zealand, there was no such restriction, and it was quite common for a new rider to go out, buy a huge bike, and then kill themselves on it within a few weeks. Fortunately, the results of untrained managers is not so deadly or drastic, but it still affects the individuals and businesses' bottom line too, with higher than necessary management turnover and less than well-performing teams that they managed. Now, I work with a lot of newly appointed managers, and I find myself mentally going through a checklist to see if I can predict how they'll do. Do you want to know what's on that checklist? Today, I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Before I do though, I'd like to clarify that I believe almost everyone can be a competent manager. It's mostly learnable, but to excel, you need to put in more effort than the average manager, and it helps to have certain inbuilt qualities as well. My checklist has 11 factors to consider, and as I go through it quickly today, you may like to ask yourself how well you feel you do. At the end of the list, I'll give you a simple action you can take to improve should you wish to do so. The first one I look for is curiosity. How open are you to learning, exploring, asking questions, and considering alternative views? Often, you're not the most vocal person in the group, you may be rather quiet, but that's probably because you're thinking and reflecting, and you always acknowledge the need to keep learning no matter how far up the corporate ladder you go, and curious beyond the main job requirements, and they're usually avid readers of non-fiction. Number 2, are you up for a challenge? Do you relish the chance to stretch yourself, and also do you expect your team to do the same? Do you often ask why are things done a certain way and look for improvement opportunities? Are you ambitious for your team rather than yourself? Number 3 is a biggie, low ego needs. In other words, you never need to big note yourself or take credit for your team's efforts. I once had a manager spend 10 minutes of a coaching session describing all they'd achieved in a previous company without a single mention of the 5 people in his team who actually did most of the work. And you don't take things personally, especially upset customers. Number 4, do you show a genuine ability to care and listen, really listen to others? Do you show respect for everyone around you and refuse to engage in negative gossip and spreading rumours? And can you be compassionate when you need to be without being a pushover for every sob story? Number 5, competence. Do you have both technical and the day-to-day operational requirements, the competence to do things like report writing, running meetings effectively, negotiating with customers, and so on? Number 6, do you have drive or energy to act on your ideas, not just talk about them? To follow up on others' suggestions, particularly your team. I was most impressed to meet a manager some months back who carried a small notebook with him everywhere, and whenever someone made a suggestion for improvement, he'd jot it down, put the person's name beside it, and action it or progress it. Then he'd report back to the originator to say, "Thanks, here's what we've done." By the way, you may be wondering, well, what if it was a poor suggestion that couldn't be actioned? Well, he'd still write it down and then later in private let the person know why it couldn't be actioned, and still thank them and encourage more ideas. Number 7, are you time conscious? Are you aware of the importance of time for everyone? Are you on time for meetings yourself, handing in reports, completing tasks for others? Do you hate to keep people waiting? Do you get frustrated when meetings that you attend are held up because of persistent latecomers? Now, I'm guessing you're nodding your head at this one because it's a chronic problem for most organisations. It wastes thousands of dollars a year of people's productive time. Number 8, accountability. Can you be counted on? If you promise to do something, we rely on you to do it under any circumstance? If on occasion you can't, then there are no excuses, just an apology, a reset of the deadline, even if it wasn't your fault, particularly if it was because of your team. Number 9, clarity of mind. Do you know what you want, and can you communicate that, and can you also let the team know what they need to achieve as well? Number 10, humour. Do you have the ability to laugh at yourself and with the team? There's nothing worse than someone who takes themselves too seriously all the time. And finally, number 11, courage. Do you have the courage to let go of the reins and let others shine? To question decisions and stand up for your people when they're under fire from other departments, customers or senior management? Now, this is just a brief introduction into these components, and it's not a nicely rounded list of 10 things, but I couldn't leave off any of them, and there's probably others that you would add, so let me know what they are, by the way. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, I promised you a tip to help you improve your own expertise, so here goes. Download the text of this, pick any one, and put it in a visible place where you see it every morning for a week. Just bringing it to your attention will let your subconscious mind know it's important to you. Then, observe any time you live this particular quality. What you'll find is that you'll improve your self-awareness, and you'll notice how often you demonstrate that quality, and you'll see where it's evident or not in others. So let me know how you go, and please share, comment and like this video to help others get it as well, so they may benefit. So next month we'll be exploring why you should play office politics. So make sure you subscribe, and as always, stay shiny side up.